I just listened to Taylor Swift's new album and I didn't like it. Hear me out. Ever since the pandemic, ever since we got Reputation and all of these albums, we have gotten albums that have been in different musical tastes and styles, that have been filled with lyrical prose, wonderful ballads, odes to historical things, and aside of maybe Fate of Ophelia, everything else was basic.
Taylor Swift just dropped The Life of a Showgirl. And instead of a victory lap, it's chaos. Fans are split down the middle. Critics are calling the album her weakest in years. And one song, Actually Romantic, has sparked a storm of debate online. Some say it's a heartfelt return to pop. Others are calling it calculated, corny, and even cruel. And to make things worse, the internet is convinced Actually Romantic is a diss track aimed at Charli XCX, another artist who's been quietly linked to Taylor for months. The result? A flood of reaction videos, think pieces, and thousands of comments saying Taylor might finally be out of touch. And this is how Taylor responded to the negative feedback.
The rule of show business is if it's the first week of my album release and you are saying either my name or my album title, you're helping. And art, I have a lot of respect for people's subjective opinions on art. I'm not the art police. It's like everybody is allowed to feel exactly how they want. And what our goal is as entertainers is to be a mirror. Oftentimes an album is a really, really wild way to look at yourself, right? What you're going through in your life is going to affect whether you relate to the music that I'm putting out at any given moment. And what I often love seeing my fans say is, I used to be someone who didn't relate to Reputation, and now that I've been through some other things in my life, that's my favorite album. Or I used to be a fearless girly, now I'm obsessed with Evermore. And we're doing this thing for keeps. I have such an eye on legacy when I'm making my music. I know what I made. I know I adore it. And I know that on the theme of what the Showgirl is, all of this is part of it.
After Taylor's response, the conversation didn't calm down, it exploded. The song Actually Romantic quickly became the center of the storm. What was supposed to be a soft, dreamy love track has turned into one of the most divisive songs she's ever released. At first listen, the lyrics sound innocent enough, Taylor reflecting on what love means after fame and heartbreak. But fans on TikTok and Reddit started catching lines that didn't sound so random. Phrases like "I heard you call me boring Barbie when the Cokes got you brave" instantly caught people's attention. Why? Because a lot of Swifties believe those lines were aimed directly at Charli XCX. Last year, Charli released Sympathy is a Knife, a song that many thought took subtle shots at Taylor, mocking the idea of pop stars pretending to be best friends while secretly competing behind the scenes. So an Actually Romantic dropped. Listeners saw it, fans began lining up lyrical references side by side. Charli's I write hits. She writes headlines. Against Taylor's new love songs can be wars if you pick the right muse. Twitter blew up overnight with threads titled Taylor vs. Charli, the pop feat no one saw coming. And it didn't stop there. Charli fans accused Taylor of being bitter, saying she couldn't handle younger pop artists getting attention. Meanwhile, Swifties defended her fiercely, calling the song clever, sharp, and overdue payback for years of subtle digs. But not everyone was impressed. Music critics from Pitchfork and Rolling Stone said Actually Romantic feels more like a PR move than genuine emotion, calling it calculated. Some writing designed to fuel discourse, not connection. Even some of Taylor's loyal fans agreed that the track feels strangely hollow, like it's trying to sound deep but never really says anything. One viral tweet summed it up perfectly. By the end of the first weekend, Actually Romantic wasn't just a song, it was a meme. Clips of fans joking about the lyrics, remixing them, even doing fake dramatic readings started taking over TikTok. But things turned ugly fast. Across Twitter and TikTok, the hashtag flop era started trending, a play on Taylor's album title, The Life of a Showgirl. It started as a small joke, a few fans calling the project a flop era in sequence. But within hours, flop era was everywhere, thousands of posts mocking the album's sales projections. Weak lyrics and over-the-top visuals. One tweet with over 2 million views said, Taylor's out here giving Broadway energy when we wanted heartbreak energy. Another viral post read, "This isn't the life of a showgirl. This is the death of storytelling." And fans didn't stop there. People started ranking the life of a showgirl dead last in Taylor's discography, calling it her most forgettable record yet. Even diehard Swifties admitted the production feels too safe, like she's playing to radio, not reinventing herself. The criticism
years,
Taylor
wasn't
has
just
been
about
praised
sound,
for
though.
her authenticity, her ability to make massive pop moments feel deeply personal. As Flawbearer kept trending, the conversation shifted from disappointment into drama, because fans started asking the question no one wanted to
Was
touch.
Actually Romantic a diss
And if
track?
so, was it aimed at Charli XCX? It didn't take long for Swifties to pull receipts. In 2019, Charli opened for Taylor on the Reputation Stadium tour. Later, she told a UK magazine the experience was a bit demoralizing, that Taylor's audience wasn't there for her style of music. Fans called it disrespectful, and even though Charli walked it back later, the quote stuck. Fast forward to 2024. Charli drops "Sympathy is a Knife," a glitter punk anthem with lyrics like "You sell heartbreak like perfume" and "Cry on cue" for the crowd. Swifties immediately took it as a shot at Taylor, the queen of the sad girl pop narrative. So, when Taylor released Actually Romantic, the internet saw it as a clapback to years in the making. Lyric breakdowns took over Twitter and TikTok. Side-by-side edits showed Charli's "Sympathy is a Knife" that cuts to clean against Taylor's "Some Girls Play Muse" until the music turned on them. Comment sections filled with lines like "Taylor definitely brought a pen to a knife fight." Even music influencers joined in. One viral review said, "This isn't just shade, it's subtext turned into a chart single." But then Charli added fuel to the fire. Hours after the album dropped, she posted a black screen on Instagram that read, "Some people can't let go." No names, no context, just timing that felt perfect to ignore. Swifties pounced. They filled her comments with snake emojis and lyrics from Taylor's older diss tracks. Charli's fans fired back with #ActuallyPetty and #TeamCharli, claiming Taylor was punching down for relevance. The comment wars were so intense that both fan bases ended up trending separately. #Charli versus Taylor hit the top 10 on Twitter for 3 days straight. Even the press couldn't resist. Rolling Stone called it a cold war between two generations of pop, while Variety described the song as too specific to be coincidence. Meanwhile, TikTokers kept stitching clips of Charli's concerts with Taylor's lyrics like "Chaos never sounded so pretty," creating a whole mini-genre of feud edits. Taylor herself finally addressed the rumors in a radio interview. She laughed and said, "It's funny how people always assume songs are about someone else. They're about feelings, not feuds." But to fans, that only confirmed it more. Because when Taylor laughs off a rumor, she's usually writing about it. By now, the whole thing had snowballed into a pop culture event. Playlists titled "Actually Petty" appeared on Spotify. Fan merch with #Flopra and #ActuallyRomantic logos started circulating on Etsy. And reaction channels were racking up millions of views analyzing who threw the first shade. Still, beneath the drama, there's a bigger conversation happening about how female artists are constantly pitted against each other, and how a single lyric can ignite weeks of digital chaos. But online nuance doesn't trend, conflict does. And for now, Taylor and Charli's fans are giving the internet exactly what it wants: a feud that feels actually iconic.